Hello, I'm Anna Kasatkina, and I have a very special guest beside me. It's Jason McAteer, famous footballer who helped Ireland win in a famous qualifying match against Netherlands, which helped them go to the World Cup of 2002 in Japan and Korea. And he also spent 4 seasons in a famous squad of Liverpool, who are our partner for InstaForex. So, Jason, thank you for coming here.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
This goal for the Ireland in the match against Netherlands made you a household name. What is the achievement of your career, which took 15 years, which lasted for 15 years, that you are most proud of?
I think growing up around Liverpool and supporting Liverpool Football Club as a child, I think we all aspired to be footballers, and we wanted to play for the great club of Liverpool. Obviously there's Everton in the city and other football clubs, but for me it was always to play for Liverpool, and obviously it's a dream when you're so young, but I think lots of hard work and just the fact that I kept going, and I got knocked back as well, and it was just a dream come true when Liverpool asked me to sign. When I was at Bolton Wanderers, they offered £4.5 million for me, and the decision was easily made. It was an achievement, and it was a dream come true. So obviously signing for Liverpool was a big moment in my life, but obviously representing then my country, the Republic of Ireland, in 2 World Cups was very, very special. The one you mentioned, 2002, was great, but 1994 in America, where we qualified as well, that was a very special tournament where we beat Italy 1-0. We got out the group, and we had a successful time. So lots of good times, a few bad times, a few sad times, but overall signing for Liverpool and representing my country in a couple of World Cups.
So your career had so many memorable moments, memorable events, and we heard a few times that you mentioned your former teammate, Roy Keane, who wrote his book and who you referred to his book a few times. And now your own book is coming out. So what is the idea behind it, and what advice would you give to the young players who aspire to become, professional footballers, and to young people, no matter which field they want to work in?
I think, I was never one for writing a book when I finished. I was never really interested. Obviously, a lot of players after their careers, they go into the media, they write books, or they stay in football and stay around in coaching and managerial roles. But a lot of them do books, and I think sitting down with the author when he approached me to do it, he put it across in such a way that my story is a lot different than most footballers. I was 20 years old when I signed professional forms. That doesn't really happen now. There's academies, they get taken on from 10, 11, 12. They work their way through the academies, and they're introduced into a football environment very young. For me, that never happened. It was really unusual for that to happen at 20 years old. So when I sat down with the author and he said this to me, and he said that your career is very different than most players, it kind of appealed then to me to do a book. And then he mentioned all the good times, the World Cups and signing for Liverpool and achieving dreams and goals. And when he said all these things back to me, I was kind of inspired by myself, really, that I'd actually achieved so much. It was great. So we sat down, and it took a long time to do. It's taken 2.5 years to get it right, because these days books need controversy and they need stories. So we had to find the balance between not upsetting too many people, and although always staying on the line of the truth, not exposing too many secrets, and keeping it clean, really. So it was a long process, but it was a very enjoyable one, and it'll be out in August, so I'm looking forward to that next year. So that'll be good. But I think if you read the book, and like I mentioned before, I think just reaching 20 years old and really not fulfilling the dream up until then, it was tough. I wanted to be a footballer, and I kept getting knocked back from football clubs. The answer was no all the time, and we don't want you, and you're not good enough. And I think if I could give any advice to young children aspiring to be footballers, always believe in your own talent, always believe in yourself, listen to your parents, and listen to your coaches and practice. Just practice as much as you can. And we live in an age now where computers and iPads and Xboxes and PlayStations is very much in the environment of young children, and I would say to them, get out into the fresh air and into the parks and go and play and practice your talents. And if you're good enough, then you'll be seen and spotted, and you'll one day maybe become a professional footballer.
The former world chess champion Harry Kasparov wrote a book, How Life Imitates Chess, where he compares strategies used in chess and used in life and business, how they can be applied in life and business. So, speaking about comparisons and how maybe strategies in football can be applied in real life, are there any strategies like this that you might suggest are applicable in real life, for example, for traders, because we work for traders who spend a lot of their time in front of the computers trying to succeed on the financial markets? Any advice to them?
I think from a football and business point of view, I think nowadays they come hand in hand. It's something that's grown. Football, the industry itself is more on the side of business and entertainment as much as it is sport now. And you've seen certainly Liverpool, myself, grow as a business. Not just on the football side of things, but also in the commercial departments, the PR departments. There's a lot of people to reach out to now all over the world, so they work particularly hard bringing different partners in and making sure that the fans from the furthest places of the world get to see the players, get to see the first team, get to see how the football clubs run. So you've seen a football club really grow, certainly Liverpool, and I'm sure I can say the same for the likes of Manchester United and Manchester City, and it's an important part of the football club. I think personally, being involved in football, it teaches you life lessons to be polite, remember who you are all the time. It teaches you punctuation, you can't be late. We kick off at 3 o'clock, you've got to train hard every day, so there's no room for complacency. You have to focus all the time, but you need to be yourself. Everyone is an individual. We all have different characters, and I think it's important that you get on with your teammates, because you're all striving for the one thing, which is to win. And sure, you can push the boundaries when it comes to winning. I'm sure we've seen that certainly in football this season with certain players. They do what they can to win and to succeed, but you should do it fairly and show sportsmanship where necessary. So personally, football has taught me a lot of valuable life lessons. It's opened my eyes up to behind the scenes and the effort that the PR department and the commercial department that they put in, because when you're a player, you're sort of away from that. You don't really see that. You're concentrating on playing football and looking after yourself and keeping fit, so you don't see the hard work that goes on behind the scenes. And it's important that you embrace that when you finish and you see that, and you give credit where credit's due.
And it seems that although you finished your professional career as a player in 2007, but you're still as much associated with Liverpool as before, as you work for LFC TV, you take part in such events as this grand dinner for Instaforex partners, for the partners of Liverpool. So do you miss professional football?
I miss the playing side of it, and when I think playing, it drives you, this will to win, which I mentioned before. It's in some ways like a drug. It's like the training every day, the winning, the euphoria, the adrenaline rush, scoring goals, winning, team spirit, being part of a team of 25, 30 people all striving to be successful is demanding, but it's a fantastic feeling. And when you get success with a group of people, there's no better feeling in the world. So of course I miss that side of things, but Liverpool, I think, is a family club in the sense of it embraces the fans, and it also embraces the former players. We have a big part still to play in the football club. We love working together. We work very closely. The legacy and the history of the football club is the biggest in the world, and it's a fantastic football club. And it's important that not only the former players embrace that, but the football club do as well, and that's why we get to come to these events. We also play football matches around the world, Sweden, South Africa. We played Real Madrid in June, and 75,000 people turned up. Charities around the world were were sponsored there and given the money, so that was something we give back. So the club works tremendously hard behind the scenes to fulfil them achievements, and if I can be a part of that and the former players can be a part of that, then we're happy. It was still involved in football, and we're still involved with the club that we love most dearly.
Thanks so much for the interview.
No problem, thank you.